When I start a project like this one, where I'm converting a real-life image onto paper, I like to use an app called Grid. With this app, I'm able to apply a colored grid over the original picture. My pieces are always 7 inches by 10 inches, so as long as I set the grid to 7 by 10, I'll be able to make the piece look accurate enough to the original. In this first piece, I really wanted to capture a great picture from my friend Perry's Instagram account. He and I have known each other for quite a few years, and after we recently reconnected, he was kind enough to actually invest in my channel by purchasing a really good tripod for filming. V, the gritty artist, was able to pick out a really good one online, and within the next week or so, it arrived in the mail. It's everything I've been looking for in a tripod. Sturdy design, multiple tiers that lock into place, and a phone-friendly filming holster that even works on our gigantic iPhone 6. It's got this really big, thick OtterBox case, so most tripods haven't really had such an easy time with that. It's just really, really thick. So thank you so much, Perry. It's really the only thing I've been using to film since it came in, and I love it so much. It's gonna last me for years, I can just feel it. So, as usual, I like to start out my pencil sketches by just trying to find that central object that I can really build the skeleton of the composition before I start filling in the details. As I got further into drawing the main character of the piece, I noticed that for some reason he just seemed really tall, like way too tall. He was like stretched thin like a cartoon character. For a little while I couldn't figure out where I'd gone wrong, and then I realized what had happened. Instagram photos, by their nature, are square, and unfortunately I didn't think to account for that with my rectangular paper. I needed to actually cut off the left and right sides of the picture to get the correct proportions. And I can't believe I didn't realize that when I was doing it, but it's just one of those things where you come across it and you realize way too late, I was way far into the picture already. He and I originally met when I worked for Walgreens, and he even came to the meditation club that I started to run, and he came to teach us his Buddhist meditation practices, which I was all for. I thought it was great, really interesting stuff. So blue is the color of the throat chakra, which basically relates to communication and the ability to understand and speak truth. Perry's character always seemed to really reflect these values and ideas in my mind, and I thought that it was just appropriate. His presence at our meditation club back in 2010 is really something that stayed with me, even to the present day. For the background, I wanted to go with a strong complementary color to his blue shirt, so I settled on this molten orange-yellow gradient. The original piece had stones that were a little bit more yellow and monochromatic, but I wanted to go for something a bit more dynamic that really kind of worked with the composition and worked with the deep blues of his shirt. I feel like the strong color really shows how his person is just surrounded by positivity and intention and the joy of life.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days, searching for your praise. But is it even there to find? Is there a chance for me to learn your memories? Will I slowly lose my mind? 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 Lost in your maze, stuck in your gaze. How can I get out? I'm out of time to make you mine. Baby, show me how. Will I slowly lose my mind? Will I slowly lose my mind? Will I slowly lose my mind? Will I slowly lose my mind?
It looks like fire! Whoa, those rocks are so cool. They look in different dimension. Man, these tattoos look great. Wow, I love the texture you put in his shirt. You can really tell those are folds of his fabric. Man, his face looks like pretty spot on. What the fuck? I can't even imagine drawing something like that. But you even got this necklace. It's really nice. I love the shading. You can see the shadow on the side of him.
I was originally only going to do a single piece, but when I was looking over his timeline, I just couldn't help myself when I found this second picture. There's this sense of pensive mystery that just hangs over the original photo, and as a friend of mine said, this picture is a mood, especially consider everything that's happened this year. One of the other qualities I was drawn to is what's known as a Ruckenfigur. So this term comes from the 19th century German Romanticism movement. Essentially, it translates to figure from the back. It's really meant to evoke the feeling of experiencing a scene from the perspective of the figure. I didn't realize it at first, but I've actually had more than a few pieces that were Ruckenfigurs without me even realizing that it was a thing. One thing I really like about the Ruckenfigur as composition is the immediateness of the arrangement. Being placed camera-wise right behind the central figure does give a certain sense of isolation, but it also makes me feel a sense of scale for whatever lies in the background. There's a tension to it, a sense of mystery and intrigue, like what's out there, what's going to be displayed, what's interesting events might occur, beyond the frames of the picture. I felt that to do justice to this piece, I really needed to capture the subject, the main person in the piece. I needed to capture that in order to get the essence or spirit of the composition as per the original. A lot of the finer details can be on the fuzzy side initially, and usually I just kind of bring more detail in once I start doing my line work and applying the shading. When I'm choosing colors for a piece, sometimes I just kind of grab some colors that I think might look interesting together. If I remember right, when I was doing this one, I used V's color wheel to choose a split complementary selection of colors. I never used to use color wheels, but it is nice to be able to see what colors might naturally look good together based on how they interact with each other on the page. Sometimes the weirdest colors are actually really dynamic when placed together, and you just wouldn't expect it just from looking at them. I had a lot of fun with this piece. My favorite part is definitely the shirt. I was really surprised how genuinely nice the folds came out. I also love the strange and steel-colored sky with its weird shooting stars. So, those are the two pieces that I created to thank my friend Perry. If you're someone who's looking for a positive presence on your timeline, I'd really recommend checking out his Instagram. So thank you for joining me on this art journey. I hope you enjoyed the pieces, and I hope you'll come back again to see more art, maybe some magic, and definitely probably some more cats. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.